If you watched just the first 11 seconds of the Cleveland Browns game today, you would have thought they won 59-0. That's why they play 60 minutes in the NFL, and every team needs to play 60 minutes. Browns lose. Let's talk about it. Your latest Locked On Browns starts now.
You are Locked On Browns, your daily Cleveland Browns podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends, your daily delivery of all things Dog Pound LGB on the LOB, the Locked On Browns podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Jeff Lloyd, and we appreciate everybody who makes Locked On Browns their first listen every single day. Join the everyday crowd. Subscribe to Locked On Browns YouTube channel. The show is always available. It is always free wherever you get your podcasts. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. 21-15. Your Cleveland Browns come up short today against the New York Giants. First 11 seconds, incredible. Dustin Hopkins, kickoff. Eric Gray comes out of the end zone. Tony Brown obliterates him. Grant Delpit picks up the ball at the 24-yard line. You come out hot. You come out feisty. You come out aggressive, trying to prove a point about Amari Cooper, trying to prove a point about your quarterback, Deshaun Watson. You fire it, back shoulder. Amari Cooper catches it, both feet down. Touchdown, Browns. 14 minutes, 49 seconds in the first quarter, and you thought the Browns were off and running. You come back. You get a 3-and-out from the Giants. They punt. You don't do anything with it. Then, and look, whether or not Greg Newsome touched Daniel Jones in the head, and look, it was a very, very close bang call. But if your hands are anywhere near that helmet region, you're going to get that call. Browns had a Ronnie Hickman interception. Celebration was nice, but guys, can we make sure we actually got the turnover before we waste a lovely, well-choreographed interception dance led by Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah? It was fantastic, guys. It was. Unfortunately, it just looks bad because he didn't get the ball. Daniel Jones, look, you heard what I said about Daniel Jones during the week, but I will give Daniel Jones credit. He took what the Cleveland Browns defense gave him. If you have any idea what a true number one wide receiver in the NFL looks like nowadays, you got a good look at that guy. He happened to be wearing number 1 for the New York Giants. That is what a number 1 wide receiver looks like. And even if it's just a small dose, can do just enough to take over a ball game. And he did. He mossed Martin Emerson Jr. Why MJ didn't jump, I don't know. MJ's not going through the best stretch of his career right now. Malik Neighbors, that matchup was just an absolute issue. It was not working at all for the Browns. Neighbors had Emerson's number. There'll be better days for MJ. Today just was not one of those days. But you got that one. Then he lost him going to the back pylon, basically on a short out. Miraculous hands, gets the second foot down before the hand hits the ground. Touchdown. Second one, kind of runs from a little bit of a slot area. Look, McLeod, love him, 15-year NFL veteran, 15-year veteran. Matchup, hot shot, wide receiver, prospect, Malik Neighbors. That is a bad matchup. Because even if McLeod gets in there and gets just enough contact that it's not a penalty, but just to let him know he's there, it is now the 15-year veteran against the rookie who's going to go basically on a deep drag. McLeod's not going to be able to run with him. There's no way. So, obviously, that did not work. Browns give up 21 points in the first half, And I even said it was 14-7, right? Browns got the ball. Okay, let's go. Minute 33 to go here in the half. You're getting ball to begin the second half. Put together a drive. Let's see something. Now, Brian Burns blows past DeJuan Jones, and DeJuan Jones, I mean, I don't know who on this offensive line is 100% by any means whatsoever. I don't know if any of them are 100%. But DeJuan Jones, and as good as he looked as a rookie, these speed guys, and I don't know if these guys have just watched tape and are just doing everything they can to get themselves as far away from him as possible. But these guys are getting around him where DeJuan can't even get a piece. Even last year when he got beat a little bit, he was able to get a piece, and at 6'9", 300 whatever pounds, just a piece from DeJuan Jones getting you was enough to knock you off your path. Well, it's not the case right now. We'll continue, talks about the offensive line because, my Lord, it was a rough day. It certainly was a rough day for the offensive line again. Amari Cooper, I will begin the round of apologies, and I'm sure certainly many others will. We knew it had it in him. You got to talk about what's real and what's not. Amari Cooper was not a great wide receiver the first 2 weeks for the Cleveland Browns. He was a pretty good, damn good wide receiver today. Certainly, the 2 touchdowns, of course. The great catch on the sidelines, a couple other times, him getting hurt up before that crucial 4th down was, dinged up and having to leave the field certainly did not help. But let's talk about the fact that Deshaun Watson did have Jordan Akins wide open in the flat. I mean, you're just running a slant flat there. I mean, it's a simple concept. And really, ideally in that situation, you're not really having the guy run the slant like a true slant. He's trying to run the slant and take his guy into the guy that's supposed to be responsible for the flat. Well, Jordan Akins was there. I don't know why Deshaun didn't try to throw it. To his credit, Deshaun was running well today, even though once again he was attacked and people were all over the backfield all day long. It has been an absolute amazement, the amount of pressure he has been under to this point. I don't know what's going on with this Browns offensive line, and it was a pretty sad state of affairs that their emergency offensive line, which had Joel Bitonio back at left tackle, and it feels like it's been, a decade since we saw him out there last. Ethan Posick from center to guard. Nick Harris jumps in there. You had Zinter playing right guard, and then DeJuan came back in for James Hudson. MRIs for James Hudson. Jedrick Wills left the game after dinging up his knee. I'm trying to think, is there anybody else here? Because the list just continues to go on and on as far as offensive linemen and their injuries. Oh, Wyatt Teller. There you go, Wyatt Teller as well. So, Myles Garrett probably too, some tests, maybe an MRI, whatever's going on with his feet. I'm not having an MRI. Are you having an MRI? Because it sounds like Oprah style that everybody on the Browns is having an MRI tomorrow. It just wasn't good. And you know what the saddest part about all of this is with about after 56, 57 minutes of playing this game and the Browns playing like absolute dog crap, they had every possibility to still go and take the game. And that is what defines whether or not you are a good team or not in the NFL. You're not always going to play great, but can you find a way to get the W's that maybe you don't even deserve? And today was a prime example of it. The Browns didn't deserve the W, but still had a chance to get it and didn't. We're going to continue on here. Your latest Locked On Browns. Appreciate everybody for being along for the ride. Prize Picks. Everybody knows the deal. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active users. Prize Picks is the easiest, most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and just watch your winnings roll in. One Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on Prize Picks every week in September. You would have won that bet today. The kid threw for 353 and a loss. That's right. Only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss this deal on Prize Picks because it's gone when September ends. Prize Picks puts their members first. So all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. You can go to Prize Picks, download the app, and use the code LOCKEDONNFL, and you get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code LOCKEDONNFL on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. Look, it is football season. It's finally back, which means it's time to order your favorite game day food, snacks, and drinks on DoorDash without missing a play. Look, I always need some wings in here on game day. It depends whether the wife's home, the girls are home, how many of them are home. They like their appetizers, they like their pizza. Best part is on a football Sunday, I don't want to clean my kitchen, take it all up, pack it all up, and toss it out. For me, it is always some cold beer, some wings. I'll dabble in the pizza, but you got to make it easy. You got to have that game day flow. You go to DoorDash, use code LOCKEDFALL 24, 50% off, up to $10 value when you spend $15 on your first order. Limited time offer, terms apply. Promo is not valid for orders containing alcohol. DoorDash, your door to game day greatness, your door to more. Download the DoorDash app now to order your game day favorites. You must be 21 or older to order alcohol. Drink responsible. Alcohol available only in select markets. Cleveland Browns lose 21-15, a game that they shouldn't have had, but they very well could have. Browns. Got to get it right here. Next 3 on the road. I am Jeff Lloyd, your host here at Locked On Browns. Appreciate you all for making Locked On Browns your first listen every single day. The everyday crowd, you guys are fantastic. If you're not part of it by now, make a new plan. Subscribe to Locked On Browns YouTube channel. The show is always available. It is always free wherever you get your podcasts. So we obviously have shouted out Amari Cooper to this point. Great day for Amari Cooper. Really needed to bounce back. The defense. Look, in that first half, there were issues. There was no doubt about it, obviously. And then once they just decided it was time for Denzel Ward to just tell Malik Neighbors, me and you are going to be chums, we're going to be pals, we're going to be amigos. Wherever you go, I go. And it's not a knock on Martin Emerson, just not playing his best right now. Greg Newsome, feisty, certainly had a nice, it was weird, because the Giants ran that same play 2 times in a row. Malik Neighbors got off the first one. Ball was a little high and outside, laid out, didn't get it. Giants pretty much came back, same look, same play. Greg Newsome was up in him, all up in him on that one. Credit to Greg Newsome. But you got to go with the hot hand in anything you do, sports, life, whatever. If something's really working for you, you're a fool to try to change it. Right now, Denzel Ward is in the zone. No question about it. His coverage ability right now, he is in the zone. So I don't care that you have guys that are pretty good too. My best corner in Denzel Ward is going to be the guy that is going to take away your best receiver. That's it. So guess what? Next week, Devontae Adams, Denzel Ward, hopefully each and every rep all day, every day next week. That is the way the Browns need to do it. Grant Delpit, Jordan Hicks, JOK. JOK did have a rough one on a swing pass. Browns, they really did a decent job. They had issues with the swing passes and the stuff to the outside, the short dump offs. But I mean, the short stuff where Daniel Jones was working over the middle, they weren't really getting any yard after catch after it. So, you give a lot of credit to the defense there. The pass rush wasn't what I think we were hoping it would be. Daniel Jones had been sacked 6 times, 5 times week 1, 1 time week 2 going into this game. That was not the case today. Their run defense, if you take out the Devin Singletary 43-yard run to ice it at the end, the Browns defense, ready for this, gave up 69 yards on 31 carries. Well below 3 yards per carry. The defense, they're getting it done. It's not, they're not playing at the level they were last year, where regardless of whatever you did on the offensive side of the ball, they were winning you games. Tennessee Titan game, Cincinnati Bengal game last year, Arizona Cardinal game last year. These were all games last year where the offense just had to show up, and it would have been just enough. Right now, the defense is not playing at the level where the offense can just show up, and their presence and they're being in class, winning the, it's just terrible. You've got to give more. And the offensive line, and it's still crazy that once they got to the emergency offensive line of Joel Bitonio, Posick at guard, they played better. Significantly better. Granted, the Giants weren't blitzing as much because they had the lead, but it was significantly better. It was much better at that point in time. There was zero doubt about it. So that was definitely a difficult thing to fathom, a difficult thing to watch, certainly a tough one to watch yesterday. And it's getting frustrating. There's just no doubt about it. This team is better than that. So overall, but these offensive line issues, and again now, okay, you don't know what the status is with Jedrick Wills. So you got him back for a hot minute, and already you don't know what the state is there. Tawan Jones, we know he's playing, I guess, but he's not 100%. Wyatt Teller is going for an MRI. James Hudson is going for an MRI. Jack Conklin somewhere during the week, something with a little bit of a hamstring. So the much anticipated return of Jack Conklin never happened. I don't want to put this on new coach Andy Dickerson. But how about we just ask ourselves this one, though, guys? Everybody, when Bill Callahan was exiting to go to Tennessee to join his son, did any of us wonder? Did any of us think that maybe Bill knew the run was over? Bill knew for 3 years this offensive line was outstanding. A lot of warts last year. We said, oh, well, Joel's dinged up. Maybe that's what's going on with Joel. Fair enough. Joel's still having a little bit of a tough time, although I thought he looked pretty good at tackle today. Wyatt Teller, we know there's tremendously highs, and then there's always some lows. Ethan Posick, look, and I talked about Dexter Lawrence, an absolute beast. Dexter Lawrence is an absolute beast. And he just doesn't split double teams. He literally shoves through them. They got great, consistent outside pass rush from Brian Burns, Ojulari. Thibodeau certainly had a big play. Oh, which brings me back to this. Jameis Winston, I know the Browns have always loved the short, let's take our backup quarterback. Jameis Winston is not good at QB sneaking the ball. It's not good at it. He takes the snap, the last one, and just kind of delayed looking for, you cannot do that. That is not how it's done. And the other thing is you took the ball out of Deshaun Watson's hands after he was finally getting going. So you took your quarterback who had finally gotten into a little bit of rhythm, pretty good rhythm, and you took him off the field to put in the backup quarterback to basically run a counter QB sneak. Terrible, disgusting, bad, terrible. You've got to be smarter than that. And again, I can't put this on Deshaun. And you guys saw there were plenty of times where Deshaun was running for his life and they gave you the whole field look. And guess what? There was nobody to throw the ball to. This offensive line is well below standard. This offense is well below standard. This offense right now might be the lowest rated offense in the entire NFL, rightfully so. And this offensive line might be one of the lowest rated offensive lines in the NFL, and rightfully so. So you thought you were strong everywhere? Defense is okay. Special teams, not too bad. Offense, you got some problems, man. They got some problems. And we'll see if going on the road 3 weeks in a row is going to help it. Maybe it does. Maybe getting out of Cleveland for a little bit is going to help. We'll continue on here. Your latest Locked On Browns, your host, Jeff Lloyd. Browns, giant disappointment, losing at home to New York, 21-15. My family and I just kind of wrapped up our summer shows, cut corn Friday night. Great show. Amazing show. But when you do this and you get this time and you want to do these things with your family, whether it's sports, shows, concerts, you got to know who you're dealing with. That's why you need Game Time. They have a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. You can use the super deal, and basically they will find you the cheapest deal you can get. And it is great. You get a picture of your seat. You get the lowest price guarantee. You get event cancellation protection. Heck, they even have job loss protection. I highly recommend you use all-in pricing toggling. This feature shows your total up front. So as you go from screen to screen to screen, all of a sudden your ticket didn't get any more. They put everything right at you once. So you know, oh, $77. Guess what? When you get to checkout, it's $77. It just makes it so much easier and convenient to use. It's one of the reasons we love Game Time. The Game Time ticket coverage, your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNFL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. Your host, Jeff Lloyd. Cleveland Browns Locked On Browns post-game show. Browns lose 21-15 at home to the New York Giants. Completely unacceptable. Giants team is 0-2. Lost to a team last week that had 7 field goals. I would say they got beat around by the Minnesota Vikings, but all of a sudden, that's kind of impressive. Hats off. Sam Darnold getting it done for the Vikings. The touchdown you did get, the second one to Cooper, going for 2. Loved it. You kind of let everybody know where you stood. You were going to play for the win. Jerry Jeudy got your 2-point conversion. But the Greg Joseph field goal and the miss of the field goal, that's it. That is where every good team that has ever existed in the NFL, is in the NFL currently, says, you know what? 56 and a half minutes don't stinking matter. We got the ball. All we need is 6 and an extra point. We played like crap all day. We're going to take the ball game now. That is what a good team does. A good team takes something that maybe necessarily doesn't belong to them and makes it their own. And that is what did not happen today. Part of it, Watson kind of got into his zone with Cooper and wasn't looking anywhere else. The final play to Cedric Tillman, look, love Cedric Tillman. I don't think they're using him correctly. That is not a route you expect Cedric Tillman to, star in. It's not going to be his money role. Probably would have been a guy like David Bell who would have made that play. But you gotta know what you're doing. And you got to have more of a game plan. And there's got to be more of a sense of urgency earlier in ball games. And to come out and have that play sky high 11 seconds into the game and then essentially go flat for the next 56 minutes is absolutely inexcusable. I understand injuries. And look, we can't do it anymore. I get it. You're losing a lot of dudes. You're down a lot of dudes. It's the NFL. A lot of dudes get hurt. San Francisco 49ers finding a way to get it done right now today. Chargers lost. But, they're not going to make any excuses because they lost both tackles, a pass rusher, and their quarterback re-injured his ankle. Not going to do it. It gets frustrating when you think the team is better than maybe they are. But this is the biggest thing with the NFL, and certainly with any sport is, and you guys hear me use this term all the time, is everybody's got to play together like it's a band. Everybody's got to play in harmony. And if you don't have all units hitting on their cylinders, most likely the product ain't going to work. So the offensive line issues, and who knows what the offensive line will be next week. For God's sakes, I have no idea. The running game, again, extremely inconsistent. Jerome Ford, the Jerome Ford fumble. And I'll be honest, I do believe that's on Jerome. If you saw, and they made a point to it, Jerome's zone, you need to be tight. You're basically, the spot should be just enough room for the quarterback to get the ball. Jerome kind of had a high one, man. So it's really hard to clamp down really quick. Or then you clamp down and you get Deshaun's wrist in there, and that slows the play down too. Deshaun had a way too wide. You normally want to be this nice and tight, but right in here in the ribs, right? He was wide, and he was up almost here, and the lower one was down by the belly button. That's way too big because now you're trying to clamp down, and you saw exactly what happened. It's clamped down, ball rolled forward. Certainly Jerome could not get the ball back. Ronnie Hickman, Ronnie Hickman had an interception that didn't count, obviously. Ronnie Hickman did have a fumble recovery later in the game. So, getting to see Ronnie Hickman, and it was weird because we didn't know how it was going to work. once Thornhill was out, where they're going to start playing DeAnthony Bell again like they did last year. Ronnie Hickman out there doing his thing. This team really needs to improve. They really do. This season can get away from them very, very quickly. I'm a little discouraged. You know me, though. I'll be back on the Browns high horse by Tuesday or Wednesday. It's just the way I go. Maybe going on the road for a couple of weeks is probably the best thing this team needs. Because, look, it is tough to play in Cleveland. There's no question about it. The fan base is extremely passionate. And when it doesn't go their way, they certainly, get a little cranky. And they certainly make no bones about letting you hear that they are unhappy, upset with the play of the team. A lot of things need work. A lot of things need to improve. There's just no way around it. Your offensive line needs to improve. You need to find some semblance of a consistent running game. And you need more than one receiver each and every week. It can't be Elijah Moore. Then it can't be Jerry Jeudy. Then it can't be Amari Cooper. Things need to get better. I'm your host, Jeff Lloyd. Appreciate you all for making Locked On Browns your first listen every single day. Everyday crowd, a bunch of filthy animals, but you're my filthy animals. I suggest everybody become a filthy animal. Subscribe to Locked On Browns YouTube channel. The show is always available. It is always free wherever you get your podcasts. This has been your daily delivery of all things Dog Pound. Browns lose. LGB on the LOB. Let's go Browns.